Hi, besties!
And I was your best friend, and now I'm just losing all of my senses, and I just can't go there. Yeah, I was your best friend, and now I'm just losing all of my senses, defenses. Yeah, I can't.
Hey, bestie.
Welcome back to Mads and Reg.
Yay.
And on today's episode of the Podcar, we're going to be talking about murder mysteries. And we have two special guests with us. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
You're going first.
I'm Clara.
I'm Emma.
And we talked about Emma a lot in our last video,
and
but
Clara
this
will
is
be in our Friday video.
So this is, you get a 2-for-1 with Clara.
Yes.
So we're just we have top 3 serial killers, top 3 unsolved cases,
and then our favorite cases.
which it's kind of shit to say favorite,
But like just the ones that
But-
we really like.
got into.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
gonna preface that there's a big trigger warning on this entire video with murder, rape.
Yeah, I'm gonna go crazy. Like
We all get way too into this stuff, and we're probably a little psycho for it, but it's okay. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our first is top 3 serial killers, and when we googled these, the top 3 were Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy. So first off, we're gonna have Emma talking about Ted Bundy.
oh lord. Okay. So are we doing like childhood stuff too? Like when they're
Oh, I should have had you read what I wrote down.
he was an American serial killer.
Yes.
He kidnapped, raped, and murdered dozens of young women and girls during the early 70s, or early to mid 70s. And then he kidnapped and killed for over a decade before he was caught. But he confessed to 30 murders committed in 7 different states between 1974 and 1978.
Jesus.
Yeah. Little fun fact. He escaped from prison, or from jail the first time
I remember
they caught
that.
him.
Yeah, I
and
do
he
remember
went on
that.
a little running run, tried to kill someone,
Yeah.
and he failed miserably. So
I love how we're all like
Didn't
kind
you
of
also-
cackling about
Didn't
this.
he also jump out of a window?
yeah,
to- when
that's
he
how he
escaped.
escaped.
Yeah.
He jumped out of a
Isn't
window.
that what
Yeah, that's.
I
He jumped
just
out
have
of
to
a
say I would have definitely been fooled because he was hot.
Oh
Yo,
yeah,
I would have been
okay,
fooled, bro.
no.
Like a big
okay.
thing of him was like
Yeah.
that he had like he
Yeah.
was very intelligent, very charismatic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Like,
good looking man
Yeah.
for sure. Yes.
I mean,
I
just-
would have fallen for
Honestly,
it.
if that
I
was
would've
somebody
fallen
that
for
wanted to
it.
kill me, I'd be like,
I'm glad that we have kind of like the tech.
do it.
I'm glad we have the technology we do now because now like people can connect with those cases. Like when back then, like it was kind of like people didn't know like MOs and stuff, and they
Right.
couldn't like
Yeah.
catch those people.
Right.
And now they can, which is great.
Yeah, and like DNA
Also,
has been
like-
such a good thing too.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like the Zac Efron documentary where he plays Ted Bundy
Oh my
is
God.
so good.
It is.
Yeah.
really
I haven't
good.
seen it yet, but I
It's
want to watch
really
it
good.
so
it
bad.
literally, like, it explains everything so well.
Yeah. Okay, you can
He
go
was
now.
an extremely like sadistic killer. Like so one of the ways that like when he started getting into crime and stuff like that, he would walk around like neighborhoods around his house looking for open windows, looking for like thrown out porn magazines, stuff like that. Like his whole MO was like it was all about sex. Like
yeah.
he was a sexual
The
sadist.
fact that porn used to be in magazines is
Okay,
so
and
funny to
why
was
me.
still a thing.
Why is he walking up and down the road looking for like?
Because
porn
it was the
magazines?
70s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People were just throwing those out their bedroom windows.
probably.
Yeah, like what?
That's.
This is
I mean,
like
you know,
He like the
drugs
normal
are better than
way.
for porn, I guess.
Real. The way he like mainly killed was he strangled or bludgeoned them to death.
yeah.
And then he would mutilate them after they were dead, like mutilate the bodies. And then he would return to like the dump sites and stuff like that and revisit his victims.
Yes, I do remember that being
Um,
said.
And even taking some of them home to gain further sexual gratification, meaning that
Yeah, I remember hearing about
mutilating,
that.
he's a necrophiliac and he has sex with corpses. And in some cases even shockingly displayed their decapitated heads in his apartment and slept with their corpses until putrefaction
Blech.
made it unbearable.
But
Putrefaction is where it's basically like rot, like where your skin is like rotting off of your body and it like gets slimy and like your skin's basically like, because when you die you bloat really
Is it like
bad.
what you
Yeah.
would think about like if you like like acid, like what people make like acid out to be, like when it melts your skin? Is
Yeah,
that,
it's
like,
basically
much,
it's
yeah.
pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my mom embalms people.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
that
it
they don't
keeps
get
them
that
from-
way.
Yeah.
yeah.
It keeps them from bloating and putrefaction.
If you didn't know, my mom is a mortician.
Yes.
That's why I know that.
She's
Right. Now moving on, we're going to do
Jeffrey Dahmer.
that's Reagan's.
I just gotta start this off with saying when the show came out on Netflix, I was like,
Which
I
one?
have to watch that. Like the actual Dahmer
Like the
series, like the
Dahmer
new one
series.
that just came out like
The
last
one
year or
that-
something.
with Evan Peters.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. and
I
he's
watched
so
like
hot.
the
and he did so good at that.
Yeah, no, he did
So
excellent.
good.
you know the ones that are like the Ted Bundy tapes and the John. Yeah, I watched those.
Oh, yeah.
I watched
Oh, yeah.
those.
I love me a
I
good
love
documentary.
those.
Same.
All right. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer is known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Murderer or Monster. Sorry, I can't read very well. Anyways, he was an American serial killer and sex offender who killed and dismembered 17 males between 1978 and 1991. Many of his later murders involved necrophilia, cannibalism, and preservation of the bodies, typically all or part of the skeleton.
Cannibalism
It just rubs me the
grosses
wrong
me
way.
out.
Yeah,
like
that's-
No,
what?
dude, like,
How crazy do you have to be?
like necrophilia is what really gets me.
No, yeah.
No,
That's
yeah,
like
really.
But like
gets me.
eating a person.
Disgusting. How can you look at a dead body and be like,
Screwing a dead body,
Okay.
be like rizzed
Yummy.
up by a dead body.
Like, I'm sorry, I would
Ripped up
rather.
by a dead
This is going on record forever, but you can bleep that out. I will. I would rather eat a person than ever have sex with a dead body.
no,
I'm
literally,
honestly-
I'm with her.
I'm
if,
just saying.
if
with her.
I was given the
only
option,
time
yes.
I would ever decide like I need to eat a person is if I was stranded and it was just me and another person.
No.
If I was
If I-
starving, I'd be like,
Even at that
You're
point,
dying
I'd
and
let
I eat
myself
you.
You know what that
die.
just
I'd
made me
let
think
myself
of?
die.
Yeah, exactly.
The only
I'm
way you're getting me
tipping
to
the
eat
raft.
a person is if I'm
Tipping
kidnapped
the
and
raft.
forced.
Yes.
The only way you're getting me to eat a person is if I am kidnapped
yeah.
and forced.
100%.
If
Like,
I am
yeah.
starving on on a deserted island
With
and I'm
another
stuck
person?
with Reagan, I'm eating this bitch. I'm doing it.
what you going for first on me?
Your nice thighs.
Yeah, the
I
thighs and the booty.
That's what I
Thighs
thought.
and the
You'll still
booty.
probably be able to like survive and walk.
Yeah.
Maybe
just takes a
depending
bite.
on how.
If she much, if she doesn't take the muscle,
I would
just
rather-
takes the fat.
Yeah, I
you'd
was
be
gonna say.
fine.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
continue.
Um,
That got off topic real
Real
fast.
fast.
Story of our lives.
Real.
he was convicted of first-degree murder, disorderly conduct, and second-degree sexual assault and entering
Lean in a little bit.
a child for immoral purposes with 941 years in prison.
We're dying in there.
He was killed in prison from homicide by several skull,
Is he not?
skull,
I think he is.
and brain
Dahmer?
trauma.
Yes.
Didn't he die in?
Yeah,
Yes,
he got
by
murdered
in
like
prison.
with a
Yeah.
freaking weight.
Yeah, he got
Guy
murdered.
like
Dang.
asked him like who he was and stuff, and he had already heard about him and was like,
Another, funny enough,
the crap out
another
of
guy
him.
that got convicted for murder killed him.
yeah,
I
I
said,
think Ross Lynch played him in one of the movies too.
Yes,
but
I
it was
watched
early,
it.
Yeah.
Series,
Yeah.
It was a
movie.
series.
It was a movie.
Oh, it was a movie?
It was a movie. I
Okay.
just
It was
watched
like My
it.
Friend Dahmer.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Which Ross
and
Lynch
that was
is hot.
that was
Yes.
before. It had to do with like his life before
Yeah.
he was a serial
Which
killer.
also
so.
like, he was bound to turn out that way. His dad.
because of his
my
dad,
God,
yes.
yes.
And his dad, I'm pretty sure that I read something about where his dad like completely blamed himself for it, for letting him like be that way to
in
animals.
the like series, it shows his dad where he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
not my fault.
yeah.
I mean, if someone's killing animals, like that's one of the first signs that you're
I'm
like.
sorry.
To an
I'd
extent.
ship,
Like a
I'd
deer-
ship my kid
Like
off.
people kill deer around
Like
here all the time.
hunting is a
That's
different thing, but if you're
But
like
if you're like just walking
torturing
around and you're
cats,
just like, oh, there's
He
a
killed this
raccoon,
cat.
I want to take that home.
or
I wanna
killing
kill it.
cats,
Kill it.
like
Yeah, like I'm sorry if I caught my kid killing animals, like little
like,
animals,
with
just
his
for
hands,
funsies, with
or,
his
like-
hands, or like doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm shipping him off to a mental
Literally.
hospital.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
I'm not taking any.
Bye.
chances.
Yeah, literally.
No,
You're not
chances
killing
are
me
being
next.
taken.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and not to mention his mom was like crazy.
Oh yeah, no. His
Yeah.
mom.
so
was
that
awful to
definitely made him a lot more
That is
mentally
a lot of that
unstable.
crap's genetic.
a lot.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like some people are just bound to turn out that way, and it's awful. It's like what?
as
Like,
bad as it is, like
how do we prevent that?
Yeah, literally.
You can't. You literally
Yeah.
can't. Like you can
you just
get
have
them
to hope and pray they
medicated.
get on medication in time and nothing goes
Even
crazy.
some medication
Don't
doesn't
like
though.
work
Yeah,
all the
you-
time.
You can't.
Like I still think that if Jeffrey Dahmer was medicated, he still would have done everything.
Oh
he
yeah,
did.
no, he 100% would.
Yeah, it's just like some people's brains are just wired that way.
Yep.
So now we're gonna move on to John Wayne Gacy. This is the one that I had. John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 young men and boys in Norwood Park Township near Chicago,
okay?
Illinois. He became known.
I know.
Yeah, yours wasn't.
Mine wasn't.
He became known as the Killer Clown due to his public performances as a clown prior to the discovery of his crimes. When he was arrested, law enforcement found 29 bodies in the crawl space of his home. He died May 10th, 1994 at Statesville Correctional Center in Crest Hill, Illinois by capital punishment. Fun fact, his last word... Okay, chill. His last words were, "Kiss my ass."
What was his?
No, can we talk about, like, he is probably the most messed up. Like, how are you going to dress
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What would your guys'
For
like
kids.
last meals be if you were on death row?
Oh, I would definitely have, like, a whole, like, Japanese food, like, buffet,
God,
number
yes.
one. Okay, that
I'm
first.
getting...
Yeah.
What am I getting?
Mexican food.
Gallons
Same.
of Big Red.
Oh my God! Yes.
Gallons.
Like, give me that Big Red. I'm gonna bleep this out. I'm gonna
let
piss
me
myself
try to kill myself
while
with Big
you're
Red first.
killing me, but like,
That
Go
pee's gonna
for
be
it,
red.
Yeah.
yeah.
As-
I would have
But-
like a bunch of my mom's dishes.
You know, understandable. Like, honestly,
Like, my mom's
I
such a
would
good
probably
Lonnie
cook.
G's
look at my
making me
dad.
chicken and rice.
Real.
Or chicken fried rice
Yes.
before I go
I
out.
would wholeheartedly look at my dad and be like, "Make me a steak
Real.
Make
before
me
I
some
die."
chicken
Before I
fried
die.
rice before I
Yes.
get taken out.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the reason that I'm afraid of clowns.
No, actually,
'Cause,
No,
like-
yeah. And like the thing that like went around in like what, like 2018 or something,
Yeah.
where the clowns were
The
like
killer clowns?
chasing
Yeah.
people. And no, I was so scared that like I was gonna be out like taking
Hey.
the dogs out one night and a clown was just
anyways, but, okay, so, fun fact, I have, like,
Just go
it's
for it,
really
it's fine.
embarrassing, okay, like, this. So, growing up, like, my uncle would, like, we would watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space a lot.
Yeah.
We tried to watch
I've
that and it
seen
was
that.
so stupid.
Oh my
I
God,
had a
it's
clown
so
collection
dumb. Was it
growing
you
up,
that
and
I
I
watched
still
that
have
with?
it.
That's
Like, we have a clown collection
we watch
underneath
that
our...
together?
Yeah,
Carmen
we
has
have
a
a
clown
clown
collection,
collection underneath
too.
our basement steps. Because, like, I grew up loving clowns.
That's insane. I love
That's
that.
because Killer Clowns from Outer Space makes it look fun to get kidnapped.
Exactly.
By a clown.
Yeah, no, you right.
I mean, yeah, also
Because the way that
Leprechaun,
they
though, like,
flip about
Leprechaun
things.
was
I feel
so
like it'd be
funny.
I love that movie.
Real.
Me and Emma
Claire
watched
used to
it
watch
last
that, too.
weekend.
Me and Claire used to
so
watch
fun
it.
to hang out with him, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
Like, he may kill me, but it looks like fun.
Oh, it's exactly. It's almost St. Patty's Day.
It is.
I'm wearing my green,
It's
bro.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow.
You all better all be wearing green or I'm pinching ass. Swing ho. Swing ho. But,
Anyways,
Wind it up.
back to the topic.
33 people is crazy.
That is.
Young
insane.
men
I
and
don't
boys.
understand how you kill that many people and don't
Don't get caught
aren't they all
for a
dudes?
while. Yeah.
Aren't they all dudes?
Yeah, young
Yeah.
men and boys.
Yeah, you know, okay, fun fact about John Wayne Gacy, when he worked at KFC, he would, like, hire on boys just to get to know them and kill them. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like,
I
rape
think
them.
I said
Like,
something about
I
that.
just don't understand how these people don't get caught.
It takes,
Yeah.
Like, and it takes so
I
long.
Get, like, it was so long ago, like, all
Yeah,
of this
I
happened
feel
so
like
long ago.
now-
Technology was so different.
Honestly,
But
like
still,
you can't even get away with
How do you
killing
not
one
notice
person.
33 boys? How,
Yeah.
Okay, before
Like, were
that,
they- I
how do
think
you
they
not
were, like,
notice,
runaways.
10, like,
Yeah.
15?
Or even
Some of
fly.
them,
And
I
didn't
think
it-
some of them were
didn't it say-
runaways.
A lot of them are
Didn't it say
runaways.
that he was like going from state to state?
I don't.
Was it him or was it your
that was
no,
mine.
that was
Okay.
Ted Bundy.
That was mine.
This
Smart
was all
choice.
in one state.
that's-
All right, we're moving on.
So, our next topic is the top 3 unsolved cases being the Zodiac Killer, Jack the Ripper, and Elizabeth Short, aka Black Dahlia.
All right. So I had the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is the pseudonym of the unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s. The case has been described as the most famous unsolved murder case in American history and has become both a fixture of pop culture and a focus. All right, you damn. Anyway,
so
and the
out of pocket.
focus and a focus for efforts by amateur detectives. He coined his name in a series of taunting messages that he mailed to regional newspapers in which he threatened killing sprees and bombings if they were not printed. Some of these letters included cryptograms or ciphers in which the killer claimed he was collecting his victims as slaves for the afterlife. Of 4 ciphers he produced, two remain unsolved, and one was cracked only in 2020. While many theories regarding the identity of the killer have been suggested, the only suspect authorities ever publicly named was Arthur Lee Allen, a former elementary school teacher and convicted sex offender who died in 1992. The Zodiac Killer targeted young couples and a lone male cab driver. In 1974, he ceased all communication with the media. He claimed to have killed 37 people, but only 5 have been confirmed.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about nobody was convicted.
No.
Do we
one
even
has
know that
ever-
this is a man?
Yes.
Honestly,
That
genuinely, I think it's a woman.
I feel
think
like
it's a woman.
woman killers, I feel like, get away with stuff the most.
I feel like a
Yeah,
lot of
honestly.
unsolved cases eventually.
Like, have you
result
noticed that
in
every
it
single
being a
person on
woman.
this is just, not every single person,
But-
but almost every single person on this
Is a
list
man.
Is a man.
They have,
And they've
like,
been
if
caught.
you watch documentaries and stuff, they talk about how, like, they've thought about that. Like, you know, but, like, all of the signs point to man. Which,
Yeah.
it could just be a really manly woman.
Yeah,
Honestly.
True.
But I saw online that
genuinely-
they, like, have a sketch of the guy. Because somebody, I thought, survived.
Probably.
Somebody survived.
There was something where somebody survived, and, like, they thought, I didn't think that was the guy that they had thought. There's more on it. There was another guy that they were gonna convict. Like, they were.
They
literally
think
going to
now.
convict.
They think now that there's 2 of them. That there was 2 people involved.
Yeah.
Well, are they still kicking?
Probably not anymore. This happened in the 60s.
And if
I
they
mean,
were,
my
already an
grandparents
adult-
were like in their 30s in the 60s.
Yeah, so I mean, if
Yeah, my
they
parents
are
weren't
alive,
even born
they'll be
yet.
your grand, because they're probably a full-grown adult.
Jennifer wasn't even born until 1967.
Yeah, like if they're a
Jennifer's
full-grown
my
Saying
adult,
he
aunt.
was like a lot of the description is like male, like 40
Yeah.
years old.
I think
so
in
if
his
he was alive,
letters,
he'd be old.
I think in his letters he described, like, he said he in his letters.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he might
Okay.
have. The reason that they thought that there was more than one is I think he, like, slipped up in some of his letters and said, like, we or like us, and I think that's
Which
why
I
a
feel
lot
like
of
would make
people.
a lot of sense with with
Yes.
that many people being killed.
At
Yeah.
some point, you're gonna slip.
Well,
up.
they
At some
said
point, you're
they,
gonna
he
make a mistake.
claimed to have killed 37 people, but only 5 have ever been confirmed to be actually the
so he
Zodiac
could
Killer.
just be bragging, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because a lot of serial killers do that. Like,
No, he's literally just rubbing it in their face.
no, yeah, he's just
yeah.
like, oh, I killed all these people, and you haven't
but
got
you
like,
don't know
why you
who
guys
idea
are so
who they
stupid.
are.
Like, yeah.
Like,
And
you have
some
no
of,
idea
and
who
even
I
like,
am.
especially like with runaways and stuff, like people don't even like report them missing.
Or
So I mean,
prostitutes,
yeah,
drug
like
addicts,
he could have
like-
killed 37 people, but he targeted them. Like he targeted couples most of the time, and then one lone cab driver.
Which explains why
Which if you've
there's
never
so many dead people.
if you've ever seen Criminal Minds, there's an episode in Criminal Minds that kind of mimics
Almost
the
all of
Zodiac
these-
Killer.
Almost all
Yeah.
of these
have been
Criminal Minds
mimicked
episodes that
in
have been
Criminal
a
Minds.
lot of like
There was
murders are
one-
based off of
Ted
true
Bundy,
stories on
The
there.
one- if
and
you-
Jeffrey Dahmer both were.
Spoiler alert for Criminal Minds. The guy who kills Haley, Hotch's wife in Criminal Minds,
Is the-
that's the guy that this is based off.
Yeah,
of.
that's like
he's
the
based
quote
on-
Yeah.
unquote
I don't remember
Zodiac.
what he's called in the show, but
Oh my god.
Said George Floyd. What did they
George
call him?
Floyd, yeah.
Oh,
The
the
Reaper.
the Reaper.
That's what it
yes,
is.
the
Okay,
Reaper.
yes, I remember that.
So,
I remember all that now.
End of spoiler for Criminal Minds if you've never seen it, but we all love Criminal Minds a lot.
Okay, I have Jack the Ripper. I don't have very much written down about him. I couldn't.
Because he's kind of unknown. Like, this was just
Yeah,
like
there's
his,
not really,
like, his
like, known
pseudonym,
about
right?
him.
Okay, so Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer active in and around the impoverished Whitechapel district of London, England in 1888. So, you really ain't finding him now.
Yeah, no. He's dead.
He is long gone if there's even any record.
Unless
of
he's
him.
like an original from the Vampire Diaries, he's dead.
yeah,
He is
seriously.
dead.
Yeah. His killings were from 1888 to 1891 with 5 victims.
Is this the guy? Is this the guy that carried
the?
the like weird little scythe thing?
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't think
The
so.
Grim Reaper? The Grim Re- she is talking about the Grim Reaper.
Girl, oh my.
I see why she picked that up.
I know.
Anyways, the Grim Reaper. Anyways, attacks described him typically involved women working as prostitutes.
A what described him as what?
Why is that like 99% of like... all
Why is
serial
everybody
killers?
going after women, bro?
Because
it's
Dahmer
prostitutes.
did it?
It's the girls
It's
that are around the corner.
prostitutes. It's because if you take them, no one's
no
gonna
one's
notice,
know.
yeah.
Like
Nobody's
no
gonna
one's
know.
gonna
Yeah.
know because they're so vulnerable and they're
They're
like,
doing whatever
day-to-day
they
life
can for money.
Yeah.
They don't know what's gonna happen. to
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And I think all of them know that. It's like there's
Yeah.
always gonna be that risk.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like there's not much to say about this one just because it happened so long ago.
Yeah.
And there's
Like-
literally
Like back
they
in
don't
that
know
time, there was
anything.
nothing that you could have done
Yeah.
to find this guy.
No.
And there's like, you're obviously not going to know a lot. There's nothing you can do to
Right?
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the one like major theory about it is H. Holmes, who had his big murder castle hotel in Chicago. The timelines between these two cases line up that a lot of people think that he was in England before he moved over, because before when he built his hotel, there is no record of H.H. Holmes in America anywhere.
Oh.
Until
So he's probably Jack the Ripper? Like, that's
like a
conspiracy?
very, very popular theory. Oh, this one is the Black Dahlia. It's Elizabeth Short is the actual victim's name. She was like a very, very young person that moved to Los Angeles because she wanted to be an actress. Like, she was an aspiring actress. If I could talk today, that would be great. But she moved to Los Angeles, and she was brutally murdered, and her body was found in 1947. Her body was cut in half, like she was completely separated, and she's severely mutilated. I had the famous Glasgow smile
From ear to ear.
from ear to ear on her cheeks, like very, Joker-esque.
Have you heard of this one?
No.
Oh my god,
This
really?
is
one's
so
interesting.
brutal, too.
It is,
And it was very brutal for its time.
Good guys, you guys are about to make me fall down like a deep black hole for like a good
No,
hour
when I
and a
first
half.
found
I'm
out about
to be
this case,
watching
I
documentaries.
think Billy Searing has video on her.
Yeah, I think she
don't
does.
watch it.
Yeah.
We
But
love
anyway.
Sarah obsessed. Anyways.
So there's literally been there was only ever one suspect of her murder, and it was a doctor who had like a wife, a kid, like kids, whatever. And there was rumors going around like Hollywood sets and stuff like that she went to him to get an abortion,
Oh.
which obviously was very
Taboo at the
taboo.
time.
Well, I mean, it's taboo now, but it was even worse back then. Like you
Yeah.
could, like you were literally shunned.
Yeah.
And it was said that she was there to get abortion. Although that has never been confirmed because he died shortly after she was murdered. Like,
I mean, if you're gonna cut somebody up like that, I feel like you have to have surgical
I remember
skill.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember what I was going to say. It's they a lot of people think that he has medical experience. Whoever killed her.
Yes.
And then the way that her body was dumped, like she was not
Killed there.
mutilated, whatever else happened, because there's they have reason to believe that she was also sexually assaulted, but there's no direct still existing evidence of that, so we
Yeah.
don't really know.
But she was mutilated so badly.
Yeah, that they couldn't really tell, like her uterus was cut when she was
Oh, that
cut in
hurts.
half. Yeah, they think that she was killed before she was cut in half.
I hope so.
I would really
So-
hope so.
Or else you would have been feeling a lot of that before it took you out.
Yeah.
You
Oh my
pass out from
god,
the
you
pain
would pass out from the
eventually.
pain
Oh, yeah.
eventually,
You
yeah.
think like, okay, say it was the doctor. Do you think like he like killed her and then was like, oh, I want to practice? Perfect.
Yeah, probably.
Like this is perfect practice.
I think
Or
that
like
you would
an
have to be.
experiment or something.
I feel like you would have to be a doctor for
You'd
that.
have to have some kind
because
of equipment
the
for
Like,
that.
surgical
a
training.
lot of like the like autopsies that they do and stuff, like they'll tell you like they can tell by the way like the cut is that like it's a clean cut.
Yeah,
or,
and they
like,
even
you'd be
said
able
that
to
in her
know,
autopsy
yeah.
is that it's very clean. It's not jagged. Like these, like her Glasgow smile that they did on her is very, very clean. Like it's not jagged. There's no like tears in the skin.
When
it was
was
literally
that?
cut 1947.
Okay.
My grandparents were alive. Mm-hmm. They were very little, but they were alive. If you don't know what a Glasgow smile is, it's when they cut from your
Yeah.
ears
Think
to your
of like
mouth.
the movie
Joker.
Smile.
Yeah, the
Smile
Joker.
or like something like that.
Yeah.
But so she was dumped on like off a random sidewalk, and a mother and her very, very small, I think she was about 2 or 3 year old child is who found her, and the child saw her before the mom did.
Oh my
And
god.
she literally, it was said that the child said, "Mommy, look, she's smiling." When
I just
she
got
looked
cold
at her.
chills.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's just a rumor. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I saw that on Wikipedia.
That's insane. We got a lot of this information from Wikipedia, so
Wikipedia was my
don't
safe
take
Anything's
there.
it.
wrong, let us know.
Take everything with a
Comment
grain
down
of salt.
below if you know
Yes.
anything else about any of these cases, because
Oh, yeah,
I would
for
love
sure.
to know.
The reason that they call her the Black Dahlia is because they found a Black Dahlia flower. There's like conflicting reports, but it was either in her hair or like near her body. When she was
Yes.
dumped. That's why they call her the Black Dahlia.
I can't believe you've never
I
heard of
just
that.
can't believe that like they still don't know who killed her.
Yeah, I know.
Because that is like brutal. Like people like that are insane. Like I'm surprised they only have like they have definitely have more than one victim.
Oh, for sure.
100%. And honestly, there's a lot of like conflicting things that whether or not she might be another victim of other serial killers that
Or,
were
like,
active in the U.S. at the
yeah.
time.
Or like if it was like a surgeon or something that killed her, if he was just purposefully letting people die while he was doing surgeries on them,
Yeah.
just so he could like,
Practice.
Practice.
How many more victims are there?
yeah,
Yeah.
like there could
Because
be
what are
so
the odds
many
that
others.
there's just this one
Just this
girl?
one girl.
Yeah, no.
Especially when she was
The odds
that
are
something
very
like
low.
that.
brutally murdered.
Where there's something like that, like an accidental killing, like that's one thing.
How is there
something
no sign
like
of
that?
anybody like hating her or anything? Like,
Yeah.
who would just do that to some?
Yeah,
Some
some
girl.
random girl that
Girl.
had just moved
Yeah.
to Los
But-
Angeles. Like, she hadn't been there very
Yeah.
long.
This is gonna be a long one, so just buckle
in,
up.
because it's insane.
And if this is definitely trigger warning, correct?
This one is,
big trigger warning.
This one is, I know, out of all the cases I've talked about, I know the most about this one just because this one is absolutely insane and, like, extremely fascinating to me. But thank God
Don't
they
take that the
caught
wrong
him.
way.
Don't take that the wrong way. I mean that in a psychological way, not, I'm fascinated by the
she's
way that they
insane
were, I'm not insane.
I said not she's an insane.
Oh,
way.
yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay.
In more of a psychological fashion. But
Yes.
anyway.
Okay.
So this is the Toy Box Killer, aka
Oh,
David
this is our
Parker.
favorite cases.
Yes.
Sorry.
I
Our
think you
favorite
said that.
cases. Did we?
I don't think we did.
I don't know.
Well,
Either
this
way,
is
we
our
said it all at
favorite
the beginning.
cases. It's okay.
Go ahead.
AKA David Parker Ray. He was an American kidnapper, torturer, serial rapist, and suspected serial killer. So this one's technically not a killer because they never found any victims that he killed.
All rapists should burn in hell, in my personal opinion.
Real.
Okay.
No bodies were found, but Ray was accused by his accomplice
Just finish it.
of killing several women and was suspected by police to have murdered as many as 60 women from Arizona and New Mexico while living in New Mexico. What he did was he would kidnap these women and he would drug them. And he had the reason he's called the Toy Box Killer is because he had a toy box, which was a trailer completely equipped with all kinds of disgusting sex toys, basically, is what they're basically like BDSM, but like without consent. That's basically what this is. And he had like a gynecologist chair with the little like things to put your hands or your feet on, and he like put like ties on them so he could tie them down, and he made some of his own sex toys. This is disgusting. He made a 13-inch dildo out of a piece of pipe, like plumbing pipe. That he would.
Ouch.
Yeah. So that was one of the most like things that he did.
I'm sorry. This is insane.
Yeah, he's still alive. He is 62 years old.
He should be dead.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
Death row?
Death row.
Do they do that there? What state did he get
In New
arrested
Mexico,
in? New
no.
Mexico? Yeah.
No, they don't. I don't think so, at least.
Some places they don't.
How does?
Dust.
He would kidnap about 4 to 5 women a year, holding each of them for around 2 to 3 months, where he would keep them drugged and he would play. You can find the tapes online of him. He would drug them. I don't remember. It's not really too sure what they drugged the victims with, but he would play this tape of him talking about how after all this was over, she was just going to completely forget it, forget his face, forget everything, how he needed to, or how she needed to obey him, and like he would play it on a loop until she was just brainwashed and just mentally completely desecrated, like just completely brainwash her.
This is insane.
Yeah. And
So they know who this guy is?
yes, this guy has been convicted. I'm getting there though. Sometimes another absolutely, you guys are going to gag at this. He would put peanut butter on the woman's vaginal area and have his dog lick it off of her. And get this, he had an accomplice. His accomplice was his wife.
Oh,
His wife helped him kidnap these women so that he could torture them.
he had a wife?
Yeah, he has a wife and 2 or 3 kids, I think.
No.
Nope.
One daughter,
absolutely
one son,
not.
one daughter, one stepson. So he technically has 3 kids. Oh no, he's dead. I lied.
Good.
Oh, thank God.
Good.
Okay, but how is somebody gonna marry and help?
Somebody like that.
Everybody,
MFer.
like the biggest theory online is that, oh, and she's just out roaming free, by the way. But I'll get there. He would drugged them with barbiturates. That's what to erase their memories of what happened before abandoning them on the side of the road. So, like, after he had put them through this, like, 2 to 3 month long absolute constant torture, basically, he would literally, as soon as he got them, he would strip them down completely naked and put them on this table, and they would not leave that table until he dumped them on the side of the road, butt booty naked. And before he released them is when he drugged them and played that tape over and over again to make them
One
forget.
thing that really concerns me about killers like this, that like
He didn't kill anybody.
He didn't not confirmed.
Not confirmed.
people, I'll say that, people like this, that like hold people hostage for so long, is the people that like get kidnapped by these people think that they're in love.
Oh, yeah, it's Stockholm
One
syndrome.
thing that really like, that's like one thing that really like makes my heart so sad for people like that, because they're like, no, like he loved me, like he was taking care of me, like no.
That's not
And I
normal.
feel bad for the people like that, because like that,
It's usually, I
crazy.
feel like it happens a lot to people who, like, get kidnapped at a young age,
Yeah,
and they're, like, raised by this person.
Yeah.
There was a whole like thing. There's like documentary on Netflix about a girl who like got kidnapped and she was like held in like outside in
in a
this little-
shed.
Yes.
It's called Room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
But
seen that.
that had
no,
the kid.
No.
That's
I'm
a
talking about
movie.
something-
That's a movie.
that's
Oh yeah, that is a whole
I'm talking
movie.
about something else. But she was outside and like it was like a shed, I guess. And he kept her out there for like she got kidnapped when she was like 6 or 7.
I remember
And
hearing.
I
I
know what
remember
you're
seeing.
talking
I
about.
know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
When he released her, like she thought that they were like in love. Like they had she
think I know
had
what
had a
you're talking
kid or two, I think. She had like a
Yeah.
daughter or something. But like
Yeah.
that's so crazy.
Like, Stockholm Syndrome is crazy
Yeah.
to me, though. But, like, some people do it just to survive. Like, they pretend
a lot
they
of people
have
do.
it.
Yeah.
No, it's like your brain does that to survive in those situations. Like,
Sorry, we had to cut the clip for a second because it was
we
getting
got
long.
yapping.
We got to yapping.
Would you like to hear the list of weapons that he used against them?
Trigger warning, severe.
He used whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg spreader bars, surgical blades, electric shock machines, and saws, and electric motion machines. Along with a lot of other stuff to torture these women.
How do you like get all this stuff?
He was.
Well-
Well, I'm getting there. He was thought to have spent $100,000 on the trailer. Dollars.
How did they catch this guy?
I'm getting there.
Woo!
So, not to mention, he also had some of his other friends come in and rape the girls too.
And they just thought that this was, like, okay.
If one of my friends looked at me and said, "Do you want to go rape somebody for me?" I would be like, "I'm calling the police on you."
literally. Like what the f- say in a situation where one of your friends looks at you and is like, "Let's go rape this chick."
Yeah,
Of a quote of some of the tapes. I get off on mind games. After we get completely through with you're gonna be drugged up real heavy with a combination of sodium. I'm gonna butcher this. Pentothal.
it's fine.
And another barbiturate that I can't pronounce. They are both hypnotic drugs that will make you extremely susceptible to hypnosis, auto-hypnosis, and hypnotic suggestion.
That's why he was playing that tape.
Yeah.
They had those drugs, and
You're going to be kept drugged a couple of days while I play with your mind. By the time I get through brainwashing you, I'm going to cuss. You're not going to remember a thing about this little adventure.
That is sick.
That's
So they caught him and his wife. Was one of the girls wasn't completely brainwashed when he dumped
Figured.
her.
good for
And she
her.
went to the police.
good.
And like she didn't remember everything. She remembered a very, very small portion of her, but they put her back under hypnosis
Probably
and
towards
broke
the
her
end.
of everything. So that he could tell her everything. They caught him and he was the woman that got him caught was her name was Cynthia Vigil. Captivity, she escaped from the trailer. So sorry, got that wrong. She had waited until Ray and his girlfriend had went to work, and she unlocked her chains with keys that Cindy Hendy had left on a nearby table. Cindy Hendy noticed Vigil's attempt to escape and a fight ensued. During the struggle, Hendy broke a lamp on the captive's head, but Vigil unlocked her chains and stabbed Hendy in the neck with an ice pick.
Oh.
She lived after that?
Yep. Vigil fled while wearing only an iron slave collar and padlocked chains.
Oh.
He
after
committed
that.
all of these crimes throughout the 80s, 90s, until he
I was gonna
caught.
say, he sounds young, like 62.
Yeah.
Like
then
now
he-
he'd be
yeah.
62 or when he was caught?
When he was
That's
when
whack.
he
My
died,
grandparents are that
he
age.
was 62.
When was that? When did he die?
2002.
Okay,
we
so
weren't
see
even
that,
born yet. None
Kaylee
of us
was.
were.
Still, that wasn't like
Kaylee was.
So he was sentenced to 274 years in prison.
No,
from all
that's
of the
too
convicted-
nice.
You're telling me
Convicted
that he
crimes.
got less years than Dahmer?
Mm-hmm.
He
By
should
a
be dead.
lot.
Because they never found a body. They never found a
So it
body.
was
they
just
never
more
had
rape
victims
and
that he
Yeah.
actually
torture charges
killed.
than murder
yeah,
charges.
It was kidnapping, rape, but like from all of these convicted
But
women.
yeah,
so it was
that
just
many
over and over
people?
and over and over. Yeah.
I
would
just
think
think
it
that
would be
like
more than that.
life, like
life.
I mean, I know
Well,
that like
life is
200.
life is only technically 30 years.
Oh,
Life, when you get a life sentence, it depends on the state. Sometimes it's around from like 20 to 30 years in prison is what life actually
no,
means.
that
it
is
had
some
some.
Like if
20 to
you
30
if you
years?
kill somebody and you get convicted of life in prison and you're 20,
You're
and
probably out
dep-
by,
You're
by
eligible.
50.
you might be eligible for parole by the time you're 50.
most people who get life sentences
Are
are up
eventually,
for
yeah.
for parole.
yeah, or they're eventually eligible for parole. yeah.
crazy.
But he died on May 28th, 2002, about a year after he had been convicted at the Lee County Correctional Facility in Hobbs, New Mexico.
So he was convicted in 2001?
Yeah, he was convicted in 2001, and he only had to serve a single year of his life, of his 270
What'd he die
years.
From?
Heart attack.
That's
He
not
could have died of that any
enough.
sooner.
Not
Apparently
painful
not.
enough.
No, he
Yeah.
deserves a lot worse.
He deserves
And
the electric
his
chair.
accomplice, his girlfriend, she had a plea deal, I'm pretty sure, with them because she's out and just roaming free.
We got to get going because our camera's about to die.
But mine
So we're
is
speedrunning this.
Yes.
kinda, yeah. Mine's not very long. Mine is the Watts family. Very popular case. Was also in 2018, so I'm sure everybody knows this.
This pissed off
Oh, this one makes me
So-
because I watched this documentary.
angry.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
love the documentary.
viscerally angry.
Okay. So, in the early hours of August 13th, 2018, in Frederick, Colorado, American oil field operator Christopher Lee Watts murdered his pregnant wife, Shanann, by strangulation, and their two children, Bella and Celeste, by smothering them.
Wait, continue.
He buried Shanann in a shallow grave near an oil storage facility and dumped his children's bodies into crude oil tanks. Watts initially maintained his innocence in his family's disappearance, but was arrested on August 15th after confessing in an interview about his wife. He later admitted to murdering his children. He was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole in November
Now that is more
of
like it.
2018.
Him pretending for so long to be like
Like, the
concerned
fact
about
that,
where
like,
his wife and children were.
Like,
Ooh.
he literally was like wholeheartedly like, I don't know where they are, like I don't know what happened, like for so long.
Homeboy deserves an Oscar for that
Went
performance.
2
Yes,
days.
he does.
Went
Literally.
2 days without admitting to anything, and then
Not even
finally
slipping
admitting to his
up.
wife.
Not
Yeah.
even slipping up.
Yeah,
Like,
boy deserves an Oscar.
How
for
do you
that
do that for
performance.
2 days straight?
If the cops would have never connected the dots, he would have never been caught.
No,
yeah.
100%.
Literally never.
because then when
What
I
was
watched that
the
documentary,
reason?
didn't they have to bring his
What
dad
did
in
she
the
do to
room?
him?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know.
He was cheating on his wife.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
really cheating on
Okay,
her.
but
And wasn't
what
he like
did she
trying to get
do?
rid of them so that way he could go be with her and not have any-
Divorce! Divorce,
Exactly.
babe.
Yeah, I think they
Divorce.
asked him about it and they were like, "Why didn't you just get a divorce?" And he was like, "I wanted them gone." Like,
Like, boy, you crazy.
I bet he just didn't want to pay child support on the 3
I
kids.
guarantee it.
I guarantee, and he probably have to pay her spousal support too because I
And
know
wasn't
he
she
made her
like?
more.
Didn't she like post videos online and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like she was
She-
pretty much an
Okay,
influencer.
so
No, yeah.
my
But
mom
I
just-
remember having a
Yeah.
whole deep conversation with my mom about that after I watched it because I was like, "Have you ever heard about this case?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I remember staying up to date with it when it was going on."
yeah. My mom was the same way.
My mom is like she loves watching that stuff. She's watching the ID channel all the time.
Yeah.
That's been me and my mom since I was like
Yes.
7.
No, yeah,
I'm
I
like
literally
a big
sit in
true
my mom's
crime,
room and I'm
like-
like,
insane.
When I was a child, I used to watch with my father, and I would get nightmares, and I couldn't sleep in my room.
Yeah.
Heard.
Honestly.
It was like a
movie.
It was like a bonding experience for me and my mom. Like, we'd get little snacky snacks.
Well,
at
I
night
loved
and just sit
watching
down
it.
and watch.
I loved
can't.
watching it, but then like at night,
My
I
mom
was
would always
like
be so
terrified
busy
somebody
with
was
work.
breaking it. Okay, this is one of my favorites, and it like I've watched all the documentaries about it. Screw you, Audrey. Sorry, Audrey.
I hope he sees that.
So I have John Benet Ramsey. John,
love this
yes, John Benet Patricia Ramsey was a child beauty queen who was killed at the age of 6 in her family's home in Boulder, Colorado. A long handwritten note was found in the home. Her father, John, found the girl's body in the basement of their house about 7 hours after she had been reported missing. She had sustained a broken skull from a blow to the head and had been strangled. A garrote,
A garret, or
I think that's like a necktie thing.
a garrote.
Whatever, was found tied around her neck. Her death was ruled a homicide. The crime is still considered a cold case and remains an open investigation.
Okay, how are you
The
not?
Vol-
It's her mom.
How are
What?
you not gonna know that your kid is downstairs?
Yeah,
I think it's the mom.
that'd be the first place I'm checking.
See,
That
me
has-
personally, I don't think it's any of the family.
I
think it's a family friend.
that's what.
I think it's a family-
I-
like,
it's also a family.
I
Friend.
think it's because they were at that.
I feel like the
Christmas party.
parents helped them
understand.
cover it up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
no,
that.
I don't think the dad.
No, I
think
never
it
thought
was-
it was the dad.
I
No,
think
the mom.
Yeah.
I think she had a part to play somewhere,
But I don't
she
think it
killed
was
her.
the dad. But I don't think she also killed her. Like,
I'm
think,
getting there.
Okay.
The Boulder police was initially suspected that the ransom note had been written by Patsy, her mother, and that the note and appearance of John Benet's body had been staged by her parents in order to cover up the murder. In 1999, the police and DA said that her brother Burke, who was 9 at the time, was not a suspect because people always thought that he had something to do with it. The main suspects in the investigation were John and Patricia, or John and Patsy, the parents of John Benet. So I definitely think that the mother had
Doing my
something to do with
research.
it.
I don't think she killed her, but I
Definitely think she has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I feel like she wrote the ransom note because nobody
Absolutely.
writes that long of one. It's
I
like
don't-
your
well,
child.
that
I
had
have your
anything to do
kid
with
and
it, though.
this much to get her
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Well, they did handwriting analyses on the whole family, including Burke.
Well,
and none
you
of
can-
them match.
You
But,
can
like,
I
write
could
that.
make my handwriting
Yes,
so
I'm not saying
different.
that you can't. I'm just saying,
Yeah, like in general, like they went through it. Like they did look over.
Yeah.
in general.
I mean, like, I'm glad that they thought to do that.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the same time,
They
that
messed
doesn't
up the
mean
rest of
that-
the case.
That doesn't mean it was.
There was so much like contamination with that crime scene.
Should we? Within they reported her missing, and the mom proceeded to call all of the family friends and rest of extended family over to the house before the police even got there and let them in.
Yes.
See, that's why I think that she had something to do with it.
The entire crime scene was contaminated before the police even got there, and then
They
the
knew
police
what they were doing.
continued to let them stay in there and wander around the house to search for clues.
How
and then
the hell
them-
are
and
you
then-
gonna let that many people see your child?
There
like
was
that?
over 20 people in that house.
How are you gonna let that many?
That long?
police.
How did it take you that long to look in the basement?
If they're
The first place I check when especially at my grandparents, when something's missing or we need something, I check the basement.
No,
Yeah.
how are you just not gonna search the whole house for your kid that's missing? How is that not gonna be the first place you search?
The
Because
basement
kids
would
run
so be
off.
the first place that I would check.
I'd be tearing
I'd be
the
in
whole
every
house
nook and
apart.
cranny. Every
Like-
nook and cranny.
Before anything, I'd be searching.
I'd be looking at
Searching.
cabinets and everything, but
Before
the
I even
basement
called, I'd
would
be
be one of
searching.
my first places.
Yeah.
100%.
Kids run off. Kids hide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She how do you
And then
not think
her
to-
dad carrying her up the stairs too. I'm like, dude, have you never heard of a crime before?
Right. You
Leave it
cannot-
be.
Yeah, you cannot.
I'm so sorry, but if I saw my little dead baby child on the floor, I don't even think my first instinct
I
would
don't
be
even
go to
think I could
touch
walk.
them.
I don't think I could walk.
I think I'd vomit.
drop.
I think I would just drop.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
honestly.
be no, I would just drop. Of course I don't have a kid, and of course they've never
Yeah.
died.
I'd probably
but,
be screaming.
I'd be
crying.
screaming.
Why is
Yeah.
your first thought? Let me carry this child, my child,
Upstairs.
upstairs, and show
Upstairs.
all my
20
friends.
That's
people
just,
to see the dead
And show all
child.
my friends before the cops get here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, no. Absolutely
No.
not.
And that poor little girl. I mean, she may have been dead, but still.
I don't know if this
Yeah.
if homeboy thought she was living still. Check a pulse. Did you not think?
That's when you do the little.
Yeah.
To be fair, if he really didn't know anything, he was probably in shock and didn't know what to do, and his
He
first
100%
instinct
was
was
in
probably,
I
But I'm
agree.
still
I have to
like-
tell everybody.
After a
I'd
minute.
be screaming.
Okay, but why? What? why didn't he tell his wife, like, no, don't invite all these people?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I don't
I know
understand.
you're in shock,
So
but
maybe,
your
like,
first thought
just
should not
maybe
be,
he
let's
was
invite all
in
these
on it.
people.
Just
That's
maybe.
kind of why I thought, because I'm like, if you're like
But I still don't think, I
contaminating
don't
the
think
crime
that
scene
he
and all this
did it,
crap.
but I think that he definitely knew.
Yeah.
I agree too.
What did she do to
I think so.
Like,
She was like, what, 4? Like,
literally.
Yeah, she was like young.
4 or 5, something around
Yeah.
there. Like, that is an innocent
And
little
she was
baby.
so
and she was so
cute.
stinking
She was
cute.
adorable.
Yo.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it for today. This is something that we all like love.
And
Yes,
we get very
absolutely
deep
love
into
true
it.
If you
so-
want a part 2, we could probably
We
try
can
to find
do so
other
much
things.
more.
Comment
There's so
down
many
below.
cases.
There's
Yeah,
so
tell us what
many
you guys.
cases.
Tell us what you guys.
If you
want
guys
to
want
do.
us to talk about Criminal Minds, we can do that.
right here, right now.
Criminal Minds, Law and Order, like,
Literally.
Just give us like any idea of what you guys want.
because we don't have like our next week's Podcar is with our brothers, so we don't really know like.
We don't know
future
what we're gonna do
episodes.
after that. Yeah.
And if you
So-
want to see these two back,
Definitely
Let
let
us
us know
know.
because they'll be back anyways.
They'll be back
but
anyway.
like whether
I'm
you like them or
always
not,
around.
sorry guys.
I always be lurking. I always stalk y'all's location and be like, where they at?
I'm just always out. Always driving. Always whipping. Pearl?
That's so real.
Clara's car's name is Pearl.
yes. Well, anyway, we will see you guys on Friday. We will see Clara is featured in another
Yes.
video. So, love you guys.
Bye.
Mwah.
And I was your best